and the judge heard everybody, and then he opened his stupid mouth and he started chastising her, and by her I mean Veronica. He basically said that she didn't, based on her statement, she didn't understand the severity of her crimes, and that had she not recorded this assault, he would be overseeing a sexual assault case, and that he might be overseeing a man whose life was ruined, basically. So I found it really crazy that he said, if you hadn't recorded this, I would be overseeing a sexual assault case, which basically tells you that it was a sexual assault.
Well, that's the whole thing that I've said a couple times. Victims need to perform
Yes.
their pain in order to
Yeah.
be believed. They can't try and, bargain. They can't giggle. They can't. And when I mean giggle, I laugh when I'm uncomfortable.
When you're saying that, I just have to say one thing. Sorry to interrupt you. The judge actually brought that up in his, when he was talking to her. He said, your demeanor in court showed that you didn't really care what was going on.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe
probably
he said
skipped
that. I couldn't believe he said that.
When, notably, she looks like she weighs 2 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, she doesn't look, she's so sweet.
Yeah.
But, you can tell that this has been a heavy burden for her. And correct me if I'm wrong, but during the trial, the prosecutors argued that it was consensual.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, exactly what Fahad says. And
Yes.
they referred back to those text messages, right? And then they basically said that it was only when she was presented with the fraternization charge, from her military superior, that she then concocted this whole story. And Mel, just because you told me this and it really struck a chord with me, can you explain a little bit about how he kind of demanded, or maybe you have a better word for it, that she confess that she was guilty?
You mean in his victim impact statement?
No, the judge. How the judge was like, and you said that like she wouldn't concede or something.
Yeah, so basically I don't think he was demanding it. I think he expected her to, because he said you're standing in front of me and you're still not admitting your guilt. And so I think I learned this with the Pamela Smart case, and I learned it from the DA, I learned it from the judge, I learned it from, the fact that Pam hasn't been offered a parole, because she's life without parole. And so many people have said to her, just admit that you are guilty, or just say that you're guilty so you can get out. So there's this, sort of long-term standing position for parole boards and judges that if the person who has been convicted of a crime doesn't admit their guilt, they will get no leniency from the court. But if you are not guilty, you can't stand up in front of the world and say I'm guilty, because then you'd be lying.
Right.
So he was basically saying to Veronica, if you showed a little bit more remorse for what you did,
right,
you'd get a better sentence. But he ended up sentencing her to 1 to 23 months. And I know that a lot of people are like, oh, it's just 30 days, blah, blah, blah. It's not just 30 days. If after 30 days she's had good behavior, he would, think about paroling her. However, if anything happens while she's in prison, let's say she's on her best behavior, but she gets jumped by somebody else because they don't like the way she looks, and she protects herself or defends herself, that goes against her record. That's going to keep her in jail for much longer. Or who knows? What if she's sabotaged? What if, what if there's a guard in there that is the cousin of somebody, whatever, that doesn't like her?
Yep.
So the idea that her good behavior might get her out in 30 days, that's kind of bullshit. And it may happen, it may not, but I don't like the idea that she could be in there for 2 years.